Blyth Test Route, 28th of November 2025, 12:48. Subscribing is free. Original audio not recorded for data protection reasons. Hello everybody, my name is Ryan and I'm a driving instructor. The clock in the bottom corner for some reason on these videos is wrong. They have been for the last few tests. I'm not sure why. It's something to do with the way my phone connects to my dash cam. I've tried to work it out, can't work it out. I've fiddled with all the settings. I'm going to have to try again, I think. Anyway, how are you all? Have you got your nice tasty beverage? I haven't done a voiceover on one of these for a while. This was not a pass, but if you skip right to the end with like a few seconds left, then you will see the fail. So yes, the fail happens right at the end. And I think it's down to a little bit of concentration. This is a really long test. This was 39.5 minutes plus the preamble at the start. I reckon this was a 42-minute test, whether somebody's got stuck at traffic or whatever. Now, I do know that they can last anywhere between 30 and 42 minutes, but 39 minutes and 30 seconds is a really long time to concentrate on a driving test, considering the extended test we did with Douglas recently was just shy of the hour, just on the hour it was from leaving the gate to getting back in the gate at Gosforth. I know this is Blyth, but this was a really long test. Sometimes you can't take account for traffic and things like that. Moving through the town centre here, we're looking directly right down this road, seeing if it's nice and safe. There's no point getting too far to the left to sandwich yourself between the white line and the cars. You may as well give yourself a little bit of space, which actually is happening here. So we're over the white line, but it's acceptable to do that because people open the doors, as we've just seen. We're also coming up to the crossroads here. He's tried to pull left and probably shouldn't have done. Probably just should have stayed nice, neat, straight line. Being challenged, but he's got nowhere to go. Don't pull left, you're just going to hit cars. And we're just going to follow the road. Now, this test is a combination of sat-nav, which you can see the reflection of in the dashboard, and follow the signs, because they've changed the test. Now, whether this has actually had a really big effect on anything, I don't think so. They can take you anywhere on Blyth test routes, and you just don't know where you're going to go sometimes. So this might be a route that I haven't seen because I'm watching it live with you. I just know where he failed. So sometimes you look at these driving test routes and you go, yeah, we can do this or that or the other. It looks like it's just been pulled in at the side of the road, and it looks like the sat-nav, and the reflection on the dashboard there, looks like the sat-nav has been reset or recalibrated for whatever reason. So we'll probably go through it together. There could also be another reason that it's 39.5 minutes. The candidate could have gone the wrong way, potentially. I'm going to move off from the side of the road anyway. Remember, you only have to do 3 stops now instead of 4. I'm not really going to count them. If you want to count them, add it in the comments. Please feel free to do so, because I won't be. Anyway, moving off. Blind spot check. Make sure you're doing it. You got a minor for moving off. Safety, that's a blind spot check. My nice tasty beverage today is coffee, because one, it's the 28th of November and it's quite cold outside, and I'm recording this at 3:30 in the afternoon after this test, and the other one is that, well, it's nearly Christmas, so why not? I've also got a mince pie, so I've got a lovely mince pie. Does anybody else like mince pies? I think they're rather tasty. Probably turning right at the end of this road if I'm completely honest, and going past Ridley Park. There we go, right in the corner. There we go, slurping my coffee. You got to slurp your coffee, you got to slurp your tea. Why not? You did get a couple of miners' observation on junction. That's not quite looking left and right enough, or potentially not stopping long enough. Both of the errors that occurred were steering junction errors or steering errors, which we'll come back to. A little bit of planning and stuff towards the end. A little bit of a lack of concentration due to the time probably on the test. So there we go. Just following this road all the way down, all the way past South Beach, all the way down the roundabout. Nice tasty mince pie. And these ones are from Asda. They're the exceptional ones that they did last year, because they used to do the extra special ones, but they renamed them exceptional. Maybe it'd just be one better. But I had heard Asda was losing tons of money anyway, so Asda might not be an entity in about 2 or 3 years' time, so we'll see. Just following this road all the way down. It's not very exciting, is it? Keeping your position, you can see that the camera lens is almost exactly dead centre on the car. It looks like the bonnet is much bigger than the road, but it isn't. We're actually weighing the lines here. Don't be put off with the idea of that the car is over the lines, because it absolutely isn't. You can see these oncoming cars that are absolutely fine. They've got tons of space around them, same as us. It's just the angle of the lens. I think it's a big fisheye on the front. I think it's 170 degrees of view or something, so it's quite a lot. So things do look a little bit closer, and also what happens is that you can get this distortion effect where things do look all of a sudden quite far away right in the edges. So as I come up to that junction, for example, you see that car sort of gets squished in the angles. I could stick a GoPro on the front of the car, but what's the point in that? Where's the fun in that? Might as well use the dash cam video. Nice bit of coffee. Oh, you've got your tasty beverage with you. Just passing the shops all the way down the roundabout. It's inevitable we're going to go up the roundabout, so. Oh, into the car park. That's a new one. Now, he did say that he went the wrong way. So I'm guessing if they went mirror signal left early by accident, then all they've just gone and done is just dropped in and through the car park, which is probably what he's actually doing. So if you've done an action, follow through with the action. Because I doubt we'd ever do a manoeuvre here, because you can't really see the lines. And I kind of know he did park on the right reverse anyway, because he told me. So we probably wasted about a minute doing this, but this doesn't explain nearly 40 minutes of driving, so maybe there was a bit of traffic. So yeah, just went the wrong way. Mirror signal left and moved into the car park instead of turning left at the roundabout, potentially. Nothing wrong with that. Followed his action. Yeah, absolutely fine. Just wasted a bit of time, I guess. There we go. Now you see all the blue lights on the far side. It was formed by a friend that it was an accident over there, and actually they decided to change the road. So they probably were going to go straight on, and they've got this sat-nav route to go south down to Seaton Sluice. So all we're going to do is follow this coast road all the way down, effectively at the edge of Whitley Bay probably, and turn around and come back. Is a sat-nav route, this one. Obviously you can see the reflection of it in the dashboard anyway, on the windscreen. Just before this test as well, there was some really heavy rain. So you've seen some little bit of localised flooding, a little bit of sort of big puddles and that. Try not to drive through them deeply. If you're going to move around them, act as if you're going to overtake them. So right and left mirror checks, just having a look round. Because it does become quite dangerous if you splash right through the middle of a deep puddle. Also, you can't see in it. You don't know what's in it. Sometimes potentially drive around them. If you've got no choice but to hit them, slow down. There we go, past the Pegasus crossing, I think that's called. Because you use horses to cross it as well. And bikes and everything else. So we're just following the road all the way down. It changes variable speed limits along here, of course, just about to get to the 60 marker. And then back to national. And that's my tasty mince pie finished. and have the rest in the coffee now. Coming into the 30 zone, you can see that we enter in a built-up area. There's a school as well. And it's really obvious that you're going to change speed, and also you can see these speed limit changes way in advance of what is happening. You've also got a little speed camera down the side of here as well. But you can see that happening from a mile away, that you're entering an urban area again. So you're going from national to 30. So you do 30 at the 30 sign. Don't try and slow down late. Always anticipate that change. Always anticipate this crossing. Making your way up to the roundabout. There's more of this independent drive happening all the time on these driving tests. I remember only stopped 3 times. I think we've only done 1, haven't we? Anybody keeping count? So we've only done 1. We can do a minimum of 3. It doesn't say do 3 or 4 or whatever. It just says it's a minimum amount. There's no requirement. And I'm not so sure where we're going to go here. Probably going to go straight on, maybe. I look like in the right hand side, so maybe we're turning right. We're turning right then. Okay, fine, fair enough. 2. So instead of going down Whitley Bay and that route, we're probably going to go back through Seaton, Delaval or New Hartley, either way. Somebody crossing the road, just slow down for them, absolutely fine, nothing wrong with that. There we go, somebody disabled, let them touch the curb. Probably wouldn't have tried to make them cross quicker. Just slow the car down. And just making our way normal 30 miles an hour. Now this candidate does have a habit sometimes of believing what the car says. And see how he goes wide there on that big puddle. So he believes, because this car's got this auto speed limit warning thing on it, and people believe what it is. It's only correct about 70% of the time. Don't always believe it. Have a look out the window and see what the signs say. If there's no signs, it has to be 30. If there's lampposts. If there's no lampposts, it has to be 60. And everything else has got a sign up. That's how you can judge the signs. How you can judge the speed limit through the signs. If I get my words correct. Another big puddle here. Don't really have a lot of choice here. Just got to kind of, being super careful there. Just slow it right down. Easy to slow down on that one because we've got a double white line in the middle of the road. And it's probably easy just to slow for it. You get the car wheels wet, so what? It's just, if you hammer them at 30 or 40, you may get a slight control issue and the car may turn more than what you expect. Something like that. I also feel that in my car, it pulls a little bit to the left sometimes. It's just the design of the car probably, but it does it because, and it feels like you want to go left all the time. See, another big puddle there. Actually, that one goes and hits all the way across the pavement and touching the wall there. So that one's quite deep, actually. If you hit that one, that could be a problem for aquaplaning. If you don't know what aquaplane is, see your instructor. Following the road. Big, long, straight road coming up. Bang on the gas. Let's go, let's go. We're doing 26 and we haven't really increased. Unless the sat-nav says turn right at the next junction. But we're starting to get that increase now. I'd have probably looked all the way down that road and gone, yeah, I can go. Now we're turning right through New Hartley. Fantastic. It's a little bit far to the left there. See that movement? Just come back to the left a little bit. Probably didn't really need to. Following the road up to New Hartley. Now, almost right in front of us is Newsham railway station. Almost directly ahead at that point there. Although it's through about 4 or 5 fields and it's about 2 miles away to the north. When there was a suggestion that they were going to widen this road and make it meet that railway station when they put the houses in, whenever that might be. Because there's no way they built a railway station on the edge of a town for no reason. That's obviously going to be on the edge of a town. There's another town attached to the side of it. So yeah, just there you can sort of, you can't really see it from this angle, but yeah, And we're going to New Hartley, all the way down, and it changes to 20, across the level crossing just up here. This is how I remember the road. I remember the road so much, I know what's coming up. Well, I haven't even watched the video. A couple of deep puddles there. But we've gone down to 20. Should be doing... There's no minimum speed, but it's about being honest to yourself and going, yep, I probably couldn't do exactly 20 across this level crossing. I couldn't do 20 over these bumps. Let's be honest, you probably can't, because you've just damaged your car. It's called speed bumps for a reason. So probably about 15 to 20 over the bumps, just riding the mountain. Making our way all the way along through New Hartley. Now we do seem to be going incredibly slow there. For kind of no reason. Oh, we're stopping on the right. I see. Okay, so this is the manoeuvre. So we got 2 minors for the manoeuvre. One was for the observation and one was for control. So that could be stopping short or wandering. Don't really know. I'll obviously put the rear camera overlay. I don't know what it looks like because my window was a little bit dirty during this test. But you'll be able to see it on the screen. I haven't got it right now, but I'll add it in the edit. All-round observations, keep them close to the curb as you possibly can. Maybe about 20 centimetres away tops, and nice straight line. And then drive on when you are ready is the official thing that they say now. Because it's not when it's safe, or move off when it's safe. You don't say that. You just drive on when you are ready. So over the shoulder, which is over the left shoulder now, because you're moving off from the side of the road. And you might argue, oh, it's a junction, or they've done a manoeuvre on a junction, or they've stopped opposite a junction. For the purposes of the driving test, they're fairly limited in where they can stop and start and do a lot of these manoeuvres now because of the volumes of traffic or the volumes of the parked car, like people parked on the curbs. So they can't really do very much with it. So they've got to kind of pick an opportunity to do something where you drive into a bay, or you kind of got to get used to the idea that, oh yeah, I want to do a park on the right. The examiner kind of knows what's going to happen before they go on that test. They know where they're going to do that manoeuvre. So that's what happens most of the time. They try and do that. And we're just following the road. A lot of meet and greet and a lot of challenges here. And we're just following the road 20 miles an hour all the way through New Hartley, all these bumps. So yeah, getting quite a lot of meet and greet now. Just because there's more traffic on the road, and it's not a particularly difficult route that's been selected. It's just picking where to go. And the whole point of less stops and less emergency stops was that it's expected that you would know an emergency stop before you go on your driving test. So you do it with your instructor, but also so they can keep you on the road longer and faster. Although this route was only changed at the start through the town a little bit. And this is kind of a standard route that I've seen a couple of times maybe. I've seen it both ways. I think quite a long time ago I had a fail on this one where you get all the way down the mini roundabout at the end of this road at Seaton Delaval and they just failed to give way and somebody came in from the right and they got duelled. So this one is been used a few times, and this one is also somewhere on my channel. If in the numbers somewhere, there'll be one recorded ages ago, probably without a voiceover, where somebody has failed to give way at the roundabout at the end of the road. and we're just following the road. Oh, my cat's been very vocal today. I don't have no idea why. Hello, how are you doing, cat? Meow. So just following the road. I just probably coming to a stop on the left. Yeah, there we go. Is that the second stop? Anybody, any ITP keeping camp? I think it's the second stop. Moving off when it's safe. There we go, just following the road. That person's turning in. There's another car there. They just come to a stop, which is fine. I accept that. But you could have stopped earlier and maybe a little bit further to the left and potentially further back. A little bit of planning there maybe, but nothing that's a problem. What's up with you? It's just meowing. Anybody got a cat or a dog? Anybody want a cat or a dog? No, you don't want a cat. This one just meows a lot. We're going all the way through New Hartley, not really a problem there, just that it's about planning, it's about thinking. So they might have got a minor just for not planning correctly. This is the roundabout where on the other test they failed because they didn't stop there. What they did, they just went straight in the middle of the roundabout without checking and therefore failed. You can get observation on a junction on these types of roundabouts, especially if there's something coming in from the right that you haven't seen properly. 22 minutes in, and yeah, this has got another 18 minutes to go, so it's not too bad. Video goes out 5 o'clock tonight. Actually, this video might not get uploaded until about the same time, so got one about the life and death of the EV that I've done a rant on, basically explaining what would happen in 2028 with the new charges, I guess. But yeah, there we go, back to national. Now you can miss that national sign. We're doing 25, 27, 29, 30, 29, 31, 32. So we haven't picked up enough speed here because it's in a pretty straight road. Alright, there's big puddles and that. There we go, big puddle. So I find that's justified to go slower. But might even be if there's somebody behind us here. I'm not really going to put the camera on for it. The rear camera. Then you can get progression, and you add 2 minus for progression because I remember that he told me. It's acceptable not to drive through the deep puddles, but also in the same sense, could put your foot down if in a straight line there. Nearly finished my tasty beverage, coffee. So it's been a bit laboured and slow along here, if I'm honest. It could have been a bit quicker. And people sometimes make this mistake on driving tests that they think, oh yeah, I need to be slow because it's a country road. No, you don't. You can go as fast as you want, up to 60. The point being is that you're planning ahead. And I think they're starting to mark for it more on a driving test because they've changed the way that the driving tests are done, in the sense that they only stop 3 times and they want you on the road and they want you to go faster and deal with it. Mind you saying that, he's on the dials, he's doing 45, so he's probably doing about 45, 48 here. So he's probably caught up with it. Maybe it's the road conditions that just kept him a little bit slow, but he definitely got progression, and I reckon it was probably there. At this point, because we're at 25 minutes near enough, we would be going back to the test centre, so we would be turning right on the roundabout, third exit. I've actually seen this route completely in the reverse order. So you go out the test centre, down Plessey Road, over the level crossing, through Newsham, along the 1061 and back down the 192, which is on at the minute, and then through New Hartley. So I've seen this as a reverse, this route. And that was quite recently as well. So roundabout, probably turning right, third exit. I can't see him going back through Coopin Road. This is probably why there's a delay, actually, because remember those blue lights earlier at the roundabout on Rotary Way? That's probably the problem. It's very difficult to know what's actually on the right hand side here. So we're waiting for traffic. It's not hesitation, remember, it's not hesitation. If there is something there and you're unsure, it's not hesitation. If you pulled out on them, you get a serious or a dangerous, especially if you get duelled, you get dangerous. Then just wait. Pick up the minor for the hesitation rather than pulling across from the front of somebody. So be signalling back to left. And then making your way down this road and probably picking up your speed. Nice straight road. Get up to about 45. 40, 45 I reckon. If you can do 50, do 50. There's a lot slower moving cars on the right hand side here. So you might, if you had a big long line of stopped cars waiting in a big long queue, you probably wouldn't go as quick. Just in case somebody decides to do something stupid while they're queuing up, which sometimes happens. But as all the traffic's moving, 45, absolutely fine. He's actually doing that now. So I reckon it was the other bit of country road where the examiner has marked for the miners there. Coming in at this roundabout, there's only one way to go. There's only straight on. You can't turn left because there's a bus lane. If you accidentally go in the left-hand side, follow the arrow to the left, and the examiner will take you through the estate and back out again, or make you do a 3-point turn in the road. Because you can't go through the bus lane at the far end. And you're looking across and identifying, see if it's nice and safe. Is it safe? Yes. Off I go, following the road ahead and see, just pick the right hand side, absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. And you can see the bus lane sign on the left hand side. Making our way down to South Beach again, Blyth, Newsham. 2 options on the entry into Newsham. Either you go past the railway station over the flyover and down to South Beach, or you go down through over the level crossing Plessey roadway. So we don't really know which way we're going to go yet, do we? Been watching at the same time as you, but there's about 10 minutes left of this video, so there can't be much left on it, or left to do on it. 10 minutes seems a long time to get back from the test centre from here, if I'm fair. No, it takes about 5 or 6 minutes, so there might be something that's happened. If they're going straight on, that's definite. This quirky roundabout. People are asking about this in a video. Now we're in the left hand side. Alright, we're going over across the level crossing, that's fine. That person was very determined to get past my learner car here. The lines on both those roundabouts on each end of the flyover are just really odd. Really odd signage, really odd lines. People are saying, oh, he's in the right and you wanted to go and signal left and all that. Yeah, you kind of got to treat it just like a regular roundabout and ignore the lines for a bit. Just keep your road position. Very difficult, those roundabouts, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, just because they're kind of mismarked. Couple of speed bumps along here. 30 miles an hour as you saw. Just all 30 now into town. Apart from the bit along Bridge on Waterloo Road, which is now 20, and some of the estate stuff's now 20. Most of the rest of it is 30 in Blyth. Well, they made me coffee last 30 minutes. That's clever, isn't it? Probably want another one soon. Across these speed bumps. Coming in at 2 mini roundabouts. Just following the road ahead at the roundabouts. Because you can't really turn off into the estates. So you can't turn left or right here. You've just got to go. There we go. Leave the door open, nice and wide. Go on, wider, wider. Either stop or run wide. If you're getting challenged, stop. Don't try and tempt fate by trying to squeeze past a car and an object. You will hit it. Same as this massively deep puddle on the left-hand side. You can see how much rain has really come down before this driving test. It was really bouncing off the floor. It was quite a dangerous drive actually earlier on when we were going down the dual carriageway as well. Somebody described it as being really hostile once, and I always remember that it is really hostile. I couldn't see the lights of the cars or anything. Visibility dropped just really heavy rain. A lot of roadworks here. There has been roadworks along here for what seems to be an eternity. Maybe somebody who lives in Newsham can answer that question. How long have you had roadworks along this road? And I reckon it's forever. And that van with the missing front end as well, that van's been there forever. Probably people come into this road and go, oh yeah, that van's been there forever. I navigate using that van. As you're coming around to the right, you go across the level crossing. And as you cross the level crossing, you're staying to the right-hand side because there's a little curb on the left that sticks out just there. And you've got priority, staying on your right-hand side, unless he's going left, is he? Yeah, road position there. I would have stayed in the right-hand side a little bit because you knew you were going to go second. I probably wouldn't have stayed in that left-hand side as much. Looking down this road, can I get past? No. See, that's a really decent stop. That's exactly where you want. A couple of car lengths. Wheels are just almost touching the white line. Looking down that road. That's much better. Rather than trying to squeeze up. Same as this. Just have a little look. Is it safe? Yeah, it's absolutely safe. There's nothing there. Off I go on to my next hazard. Nice and wide, not really super glued to the cars. Ignore the double white lines. These were here when this was a level crossing. What, 40 years ago or something? 50 years ago? So, but they left the double white line and actually repainted it when they repainted the road like 10 years ago or something. But you've got to get past the cars, so you've got to cross the white line. If it's safe and necessary, you've got to do it. Following the road all the way down here, all the way past the jet. Well, that was a speed camera on the right hand side. It was an ambulance. Just caught my eye. I was thinking, oh, it's a speed camera. And we stopped on the left. Is that the third stop? See, on this road, you can stop like half a dozen times. It's really wide. There's loads of parking bays, and it's really easy to do. So maybe it was just kind of like, let's stop on the left just to make up the numbers, maybe. There's been no, I can't recognise any angled start, and the route's fairly flat, so there's no hill start on it. So maybe that's the one they've ditched, the angled start. Maybe. I don't really know. And then we're moving away, driving away, following the road. Yeah, that's definitely 3. I should have just wrote them down when I was watching it, but sorry, my bad. 5 minutes to go on this test. And it doesn't look like there's been a lot wrong, apart from a little bit of progression and observation stuff that we can't see, so checking blind spots and things like that. But these steering errors are to come yet. And that's probably because the amount of time we spent on this driving test. I think if they'd been a bit quicker along that country road on the 192, I think they'll have took about a minute out of the driving test. But it's still quite a long route, this. It's still a long way to go. There hasn't been that much in the way of traffic holding us back in any way. So maybe it's just a long test, maybe. Roundabout, probably following the road ahead, because I kind of know that they're going back to the test centre because of the time on the video and everything else. We'll probably be waiting for the cars on the right. We can't see on the right hand side, so observing, checking, identifying, making sure it's nice and safe. If there is something there, you're not hesitating. Then when it's safe, you're moving out, maybe even potentially using a blocker on your right hand side. If you're in doubt, speak to your driving instructor. Following the road. Lots of meet and greet, lots of give way to, priority over coming up. Looking down the road and going, can I make it to my next point? Is there anybody there who's going to challenge me, like this car that's in the middle of the road? That was kind of fine. Yeah, alright, I'll accept that one. I think could have done a little bit neater with that, but it's fine. It's alright. Remember that the concentration's about to go, so maybe the concentration's starting to go right about now. When you're just getting in the end of the last 5 minutes of this driving test. Sometimes tests have failed, first 5, last 5, first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes. First one because you're nervous, second part because you're excited, because you realise you haven't done anything wrong. Or you think you haven't done anything wrong. Maybe a few minors. And at the crossroads, we've got to turn left. Be very careful. You're very closed, very difficult to see. And when you come round, you've got to make sure that anything oncoming, you just stop there and let them go, let them come. And if you can't, you're looking for a junction or you're looking for a space. So I probably would have held back a little bit there. Well, that car's moved across, which is very kind of them. That's all I'll say to that. They've been very kind to let my candidate proceed, really. And that Red Mini was doing the test at the same time. So hello, Mr. Red Mini, if you're watching and listening. I don't really know all of the... I know a couple of them. I know that in passing. I know them to say hello to. I don't really know that many instructors. I know there's one that said that he gets his pupils to watch quite a lot of my videos. So if you're watching from... I think his name was Stu. I think hello, Stu's pupils, if you're watching this. It's a pretty easy route. Follow it with Stu. This one's pretty good, this one. I quite like this. And we're coming up to the fail. So I'll tell you the fail before it happens. We get far too far to the right to go into the car park. The instruction on the approach is to follow the sign around to the left where it says Town Centre, which is written on the road, and then choose any entrance into the driving test centre. Now, planning ahead and thinking, right, I'm going to go and park the car, is probably to choose the second one. So as we just come round this corner, we're far too on the right hand side, just there. So that's a serious error for being in the wrong position in the road. Then as they're coming in, have a look all the way down the car park, and he goes and tries to squeeze in between these two cars, which the examiner then duels them for. In other words, they use the brake because the perception of the examiner is that we're going to hit the blue car, which you would have done. So correctly, they've got duelled at the end. The examiner interacted. But if we rewind back to the junction thing, where were we at? Well, we're too far to the right. As you come round the corner, just stay in line. If you miss the car park, they'll tell you to turn in the fourth one. Don't try and do something daft. And I was coming up and was thinking, oh, what's he reversing for? Because you can see further down the car park, there's a ton of spaces. I don't know, potentially, maybe just a planning thing. Anyway, if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.